Syracuse University, he teaches media management courses about how to adjust to changing technologies, changing consumer behavior, and the changing media environment. His topic for this morning is titled, The Greatest Change in the History of Media. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and welcome Professor Vin Crosby.
Thank you, Dr. Tan, and thank you, folks, for spending some time with us here this morning. I'm going to tell you a tale about time and transformation. And the subject, of course, is media. Time is an unusual thing for most of us. It's the medium in which change swims, to a degree. But it's also the one dimension of our lives which we can't actually see. And it doesn't matter whether you're a media executive, a housewife, a plumber, or a stockbroker. Most people, their perception of time is a little odd. We tend to perceive change almost inversely to its scale. And what I mean by this, if I can find where my clicker here is that we have an odd human behavioral habit in that we tend to hail superficial changes as transformative. We tend to dismiss moderate changes often as inconsequential. And unfortunately, all too often, we fail to perceive gargantuan changes. I don't know if you've noticed that in your own lives at times as you look back. You know, even if you're only 10, 20 years old in the audience, or some of us who are my age and I'm in my mid-50s, all the changes that we've seen go on over the past years. Let me tell you a little bit about time because, by coincidence, 4 years ago tomorrow, I was at Nanyang Technical University visiting a friend. And my phone rang, my mobile phone rang, and on the other line of that phone was actually the media reporter for this magazine, The Economist. And I don't know if you're in the media business, if you've seen this cover story they did in July of 2006 about who killed the newspapers, who killed the newspaper industry. The reporter wanted to know what was happening in that industry. You've probably heard that in my own country we're in serious trouble in the media industry. Circulation and readership of daily newspapers has plummeted. We've started to see the loss of major newspapers in many major cities. Now, I'll get into a little bit about how bad that problem is in a little bit into my talk. But it's also going on in Australia, Canada, the UK, France, many other countries. Something is going on out there in our industry. As Dr. Tan had mentioned, you know, there is a transformation going on, a major change going on in media in terms of how we use it, what the business models are, how journalism is done, how people are informed. And if you're in the media industry, as I am, and as many of the executives for SPH are here in the front row, these are the types of cover stories we don't like to see. And there have been other ones since then. Shortly afterwards in my own country, we had a similar one with Time magazine. How to save your newspaper. These are not very good if you're selling advertising, by the way, to, newspaper advertising clients. But at the same time, by coincidence, last month, both of these major publications worldwide published stories saying exactly the opposite thing. Time and The Economist ran stories saying that, oh, the newspaper industry has survived. I guess there was really no problem there. Yet at the same time, here's a story from a somewhat more local publication from April of this year, talking about my own country here. Circulation dropping. So what is going on here? What is the actual story? Is this an industry that's dying? Is it an industry that actually has survived and is doing well? And what I say over the course of this lecture about newspapers also pertains to news magazines or topical magazines and also radio and television because they're in some of the same problems. The effects of the transformation of media, the changes that are going on is affecting all media nowadays. And actually, look at some of the circulation figures here in this sidebar to the Straits Times stories. In the United States, circulation at major newspapers with fine editorial products, fine coverage, excellent criticism, excellent arts coverage, are seeing their circulation plummet. The New York Times in April reported that its circulation had gone down 8.5% in the last 6 months. Los Angeles Times, 14.7%. Daily News, 11%. And actually below the fold here a little bit, to make this a little more palatable to some of the media executives in the rooms, San Francisco Chronicle, 25%. In 6 months' time. How can these major newspapers continue to publish if they're losing 20 to 25% of their circulation every 6 months? And indeed, these are compound figures. It has been in the double digits for the last several years. I know that here there have been slight drops, and perhaps thanks to the expertise of these managers here, it has been less than in many other parts of the world. But there is a major problem going on here. Why are people no longer reading quality publications, watching quality broadcasts, or for that matter, even non-quality broadcasts? Why is circulation, listenership, viewership declining worldwide? And what are the implications for that about the future of our societies? So what is the problem here? What is causing this? What are the changes going on in the media landscape that can cause major brand name publications such as these or other ones in the world to suffer these problems? And there are devices. Dr. Tan had mentioned, for instance, the iPad on it. Will this be a device which will be transformative? Is it something that will save our business? Will this change how people consume media? These are the issues that confound people in the media industry. And they confound academics in the media industry, too, to a large degree. Just before we started today, I was talking with several executives here who are all saying, what is the answer to this? What is happening? Is there a way to find our way out of these problems? A way to find a way towards the future in which we can deliver content, make money, and help people keep informed in the future.